Monday, September 29th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich, 1:41 California time, and I always start out with the stock market indexes, go to futures and some stocks and other commentary like I'm about to make relative to the stock indexes in general. There is a historical precedence for a likely bottom of some significance during the month of October. This goes back to 1993 with the SPY beginning to trade. We have had a significant, sometimes huge, buying opportunity in the month of October. Regardless of the reason, it has just happened, period. As a result, the odds are higher, like 90%, that this October would hopefully also be another significant buying opportunity. So far, the stock market index has topped out last week, but we have a little pop-up on Friday and then again today, which has not made any new highs. And we're at a critical spot because if the market can drop below quickly, maybe by the end of the week, the lows made on Thursday of last week, then all of a sudden we're making new lows probably again for about 2 weeks. And if it stays there, then the odds are turning down pretty quickly about something more profound than what it looks like in the beginning. Next chart is simply the 1-minute chart on the spider. Nice rally, day and a half, 2 days, I meant, but no breakouts of any consequence. We do have a bearish engulfing still on the high day, still for the SPY, last September 23rd. This rally is getting a little in jeopardy of removing that sell signal if it can make a high higher than the high made on September 23rd, which I hope doesn't happen. And if we do not make a higher high and real soon, next few days, make a low lower than and stay below the low on Thursday of last week, then we've got a little short-term downside breakout, which could develop into something much, much more because of the upcoming, I hope, I expect, I think, my opinion, October lows are going to happen again. Next. Spider, simply 1-minute chart. As you can see, time frame's different, only 6:30 California time to 1 o'clock. So we see a lot more days of data on a 1-minute chart as opposed to the 23-hour, et cetera, et cetera. So, sideways-ish. All right, QQQ, no new high. Tried to get up there. Real touchy, double top, maybe, too small. Well, we'll see. If it drops below the low right away, you got a miniature, small pattern downside breakout. But sometimes these things develop into things much bigger than they start out looking like. Next, that, tried to make a new high, failed, slipped back down a bit. NASDAQ, kind of the same story. Don't need to go into the details. You know what they are. And no follow through on the upside. YM couldn't get the strength. Fine. Closed a little higher. Very similar story. And the 1-minute chart doesn't help a bit. Now, the Russell topped out with an overbought condition in a broad resistance area. Been talking about for that for days. All I have to have is lower lows than last Thursday, basically speaking. Next, nothing to hang my hat on. We did get the top of the market so far in the bond market to the high day. It's already come down over a week's worth with Thursday's low, and we've had a couple of days back up toward the high of last week. Stopped. Closed on a firm note. But if it can't get above today's high, which was the high of last week also, there's a good chance it'll start to slip off below the low of last week also and come down even more. Otherwise, so what? It can come up a little bit more, but not too much, and then flip-flop back down again. Remember, we were fairly significantly overbought just a couple 3 weeks ago or so, when we got my sell signal on the high day. And I would not be surprised to see a little higher and then turn down. I can't help it. I'm still bearish, looking for lower lows. Next, pretty much the same comment on notes. Weaker, not even interested in this little one-day bounce. Friday was lower than Thursday. Bonds, I guess, the opposite. But whatever, it's still not significant. Back up to a little area of resistance now that we've closed a couple of days below the previous support area. Then it becomes resistance, and here we are back up to it. I think it'll turn down right away. Crude hit the dust and dropped off quite a bit, but it was between the rock, or was it the hard spot, and turned around, and we're now going to come back down to support again. So I would expect maybe another bounce, what the heck, at around 61.50-ish. Until we get a breakout, I don't have a signal one way or the other. Next, we've got natural gas. Remember, this big formation, little rescaling here, has been working great so far. We saw a test of the previous low back on August 25th, just recently, a few days ago. There's no higher highs. We touched against resistance twice already and pulled back. And during that, we made the test of the bottom. This little bounce, big deal. I think resistance is going to stop it again if it can even reach that high and make new lows very soon. Heating oil broke back quite a bit, but I think it's establishing what appears to be the beginning of a flat bottom right triangle. This would be the bottom of the formation, right about like that. Leave it like that. That's good enough. And this would be the top with a bearish engulfing arrow sell signal. That didn't work very well. Well, yeah, maybe. I'll just leave it there for the moment. I'm not liking this that much. Next chart. Overbought condition again. Gold. Divergences like crazy. The old RSI high was on the steepest up part of the rally. Not unusual. And since then, we haven't made any higher RSI levels. It's been a month, basically, almost, while several new highs in price. Overbought, strong. I can't help it. I got to use the phrase blow off top. It looks like another pop-up substantially for another day would look very, very much like a blow off top. This is maybe a qualifier. Watch out. Top soon. Silver, same commentary. Can't help it. RSI, 86 almost. Remember, 90 is a screaming bloody murder level. It hardly ever gets there. So we're close. Next to a top, of course. Platinum, same commentary. RSI 84.5. Upside objective just could be reached first. Wow. One more shot in the hot, straight up again would get up to my objective, which I've had on this chart for 4 or 5 days now, at least, 1693-ish. Interesting. Next, and then, of course, top out. Copper, still alive. It has popped into new high ground, got overbought, pulled back to support. That was last week, Friday support, and up today, a new high close and almost a new high. Pretty good. Overbought still, so I don't trust this rally for very much, The resistance, 4.98. We'll see what happens. And soybeans and grains. Remember the long-term bottom I'm trying to justify. Taking quite a long time to do that. At least we're holding for the last week or so at the same lows. We tested them today, came back so-so. Let's see it pop up, close against above the highs of the last week. In the meantime, if we have another downside breakout, we'll probably go back to the lows of August. Next, soybean oil, pretty much the same story. Support's holding for the moment. The trend has been down for a while. There's no change in that. a lot of faith on the upside. Not until I see it. Next. We got oversold, bounced a little bit in soybean meal. Again, big deal. Long-term problem is we can't sustain higher highs for a long time and then make another set so far. Gosh, I'm losing faith a little bit. Next, corn support has held pretty good. Tested it sort of today again, but closing below 416 is going to be bad news. But if we can get a close above 432.5, then we've got some stuff to work with, a couple of gaps above the market that has not yet been closed. New highs for a couple, 3 months. Maybe a shallow bottom formation of some sort in here, my favorite. Next, I can't say much about that. Wheat, after new lows, a little normal bounce. I'm afraid I can't. Gosh, I'm getting disappointed about this long-term bottom. And Shell is a stock, rock in a hard spot, hit resistance last Friday, pulled right back down again today, middle of this little rock in a hard spot range, closed the gap. Great. Gonna erase that marker. Boom. And looking for a test of support. Otherwise, looking for a signal. Overbought conditions have caused a little bit of a dip, but that's not very much. Apple still is holding in a sideways trading range for about 5 days. Gap to close up below the market, another one below that, but that's in support. Trend is still great. Overbought conditions almost always shortly lead, like this one looks like it's starting, to a correction to some extent. That does not necessarily change the bull trend. You have to really do some topping out stuff. Nope. All I got is gap closure, back to support. And Tesla, somewhat of the same story, although this is more significant longer term, which, by the way, we've got a sell signal on the exact top day at 12/18/24. Not bad. So since then, we're getting close to the same price range in general, but not overbought again. No comment. We're back to NVIDIA. Boy, it just topped out. Same damn price range it's done several times before. This happened beginning of last week, something like that? Again. So what the heck can I say? I think there's a chance it come down and to the bottom of the range, something around, 270 to 265, 66. If it closes above today's highs, watch out. That could cause a couple of strong up days. Next, we're back. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.